You think throwing money around makes you one of us? My mother said as my family turned my baby shower, which I paid for, into my sister's engagement party and locked me out. So, I made one phone call, and 10 minutes later, they showed up at my house screaming. But I was just getting started. Hi everyone, my name is Rachel, and I'm 6 months pregnant. This is supposed to be one of the happiest times of my life, but instead, I'm sitting here typing this with shaking hands because I just got locked out of my own baby shower, the one I paid for. My family says I deserved it, but maybe I should start from the beginning. I was glowing that day, not just because of the pregnancy but because, for once, I thought my family had finally come through for me. The baby shower was supposed to be perfect, my moment, my celebration. And, of course, I had paid for everything myself, the venue, the catering, the decorations, even the party favors. My mother had made a comment when I first mentioned it, a real mother provides for her child. You don't expect us to pay for it, do you? I should have known right then, but I ignored it. I ignored every passive-aggressive remark, every suspicious glance, every time my sister whispered to my mom, and they both smirked like they knew something I didn't. Because I wanted this day so badly. When I stepped out of the car in front of the venue, my hands resting on my growing belly, I felt nothing but excitement. That excitement lasted exactly 3 seconds because when I reached the front door and pulled the handle, it didn't budge. Locked. I knocked. No answer. I knocked again, harder this time. Laughter floated from inside, my sister's cackling laugh, the sound of glasses clinking, the faint thump of music. My baby shower. My money. My party. And I was outside. I was just about to call someone when the door finally creaked open. My mother stood there, dressed in an elegant navy blue dress, her hair styled perfectly, her lips curled into a small, smug smile. She didn't move to let me in. Instead, she leaned against the doorframe like she was waiting for me to catch on. "Oh," she said, tilting her head. "What are you doing here?" I let out a breathy laugh, sure this was some kind of twisted joke. It's my baby shower." She sighed like I was the biggest disappointment in the world. "Sweetheart, this is a celebration for real mothers." The words were so absurd I actually blinked. "Excuse me?" My voice came out sharp, my hand tightening around my belly. "You haven't done anything for this family," she continued, her tone sickly sweet. "You think throwing money around makes you one of us?" Behind her, I saw them, my aunts, my cousins, my sister, my entire family, laughing, sipping champagne, plates full of food I paid for. They weren't expecting me. They hadn't planned for me because I was never supposed to be here. My throat tightened, but I forced myself to swallow it down. I wasn't going to give them the satisfaction of seeing me break. "I paid for this," I said slowly, my voice dangerously low. "And we appreciate it," my sister chimed in from behind my mom, smirking. "Really, we do. The decorations turned out amazing. Too bad you won't be enjoying them." Aunt Linda chuckled from the side. "Well, that's what happens when you prioritize yourself over family, dear." I could taste the bile rising in my throat. "Are you serious?" My voice wavered. "I have done nothing but give to this family. I have supported you, helped you, paid for things, none of you ever even said, thank you, and now you're—" "Lower your voice," my mother hissed, her eyes flicking toward the hallway. "You're causing a scene." A scene? At my own baby shower? And suddenly, I was 7 years old again, standing in our dimly lit kitchen, holding up a crumpled drawing of a stick figure family. "Look, Mommy, I made this for you." She barely glanced up from the sink, scrubbing a plate so hard I thought it might shatter. "Rachel, not now. Go help your sister with her homework. She actually needs it." I had swallowed down the lump in my throat and done as I was told because that's what I always did. Even now, decades later, nothing had changed. I took a slow, steady breath, blinked away the sting in my eyes, and smiled. "All right," I said, tilting my head. I just stood there, staring at my mother's cold, unreadable expression. "A celebration for real mothers," she had said. I had paid for the venue, the food, the cake. I had planned every detail, and yet somehow, I wasn't even allowed through the door. The laughter from inside grew louder, floating through the gap in the door, wafting like poison. "Mom," I said, my voice tight. "What's going on?" She sighed like I was exhausting her. "Rachel, this isn't a big deal. You're overreacting." I glanced past her shoulder and saw my sister, Ava, in an expensive white dress, holding up her hand as a group of women admired the diamond on her finger. My stomach twisted. "What is this?" My voice came out quieter than I wanted it to. Ava turned then, locking eyes with me, and the smile that spread across her lips was pure malice. "Oh, didn't Mom tell you?" she said sweetly. "It's my engagement party." My world tilted. I looked at my mother again, hoping, praying for some kind of denial, some kind of explanation that would make this less than what it was. She didn't even blink. "Rachel," she said patiently, like I was a child, "you have to understand. A baby is. Well, it's not exactly the same as an engagement. We needed to prioritize something the whole family could celebrate." "You replaced my baby shower?" I whispered, barely able to form the words. "It just made sense," she said with a light shrug. "Besides, you don't even have a husband." There it was, the real reason. Ava let out a fake, sympathetic sigh. "I mean, come on, Rachel. A baby out of wedlock? It's not exactly something to throw a party for." I felt the sting behind my eyes, but I refused to let them see it. I had spent months trying to convince myself that things were different now, that my mother and sister, no matter how self-absorbed, would at least pretend to care about me and my baby. I was wrong. I took a deep breath, forcing myself to stay calm. Okay. Ava raised an eyebrow. Okay? I smiled. Yeah. Okay, then. I pulled out my phone. My mother stiffened. Rachel, what are you doing? I held up a finger, dialing the number I had memorized weeks ago, just in case. The line rang twice before a smooth, professional voice answered. Ms. Wright, I assume this is the call? It is, I said, keeping my eyes locked on my mother's. Cancel everything. A sharp inhale. You can click on share and more to see if there is a part 2.